My name is Nevin Rosaasen. I'm the Policy and Program Specialist with Alberta Pulse Growers. As you know, this is 2016, the International Year of the Pulse, something the entire industry has been very excited about. And yes, this was an interesting year. It was a mixed bag of weather and pestilence, disease, you name it. We saw all sorts of different things all across Alberta and across the Canadian prairies. But it did start off as a very good and growing season with record pulse acres, not only here in Alberta, but across the country. And we did run into some trouble in August, late July, early August, with above seasonal rainfall in those periods. And of course, with many pulse crops, specifically peas and lentils, they don't tolerate a lot of water. They don't like wet feet, so to speak. So we did see some issues there with some drowned acres, some root rot diseases. Of course, we can, like any other crops, we struggle with environmental conditions as well. But overall, almost 98% of the harvest is complete. Pulse producers have been quite happy with their yields in peas. First-time lentil growers even very happy with their yields. So overall, we hope that it was a profitable and productive season for all of our growers. So given it was a wet year this year, we do see some crops lying down and lodging, but we've also seen patches of disease, right? And that can be either a few different forms of fungi in the soil that cause root rots, but also aphanomyces. So our recommendation would be that if you do have root rots present, that you leave 5 years in that for rotation. We often hear about producers doing 1 in 3 years of peas, which is fine, but if you do have root rot, it's 5 years out of peas and lentils. However, there are other options if you are a pulse grower and interested in trying another pulse to get that added nitrogen benefit, such as faba beans. Faba beans for northern growers or southern growers on irrigation, they're a water-loving crop and they are not susceptible to root rots. So other things you want to look at is where you're going to be planting peas, which fields. So you want to look at well-drained soils. If you have loamy soils or a bit of sandy soil, marginal soils, that pulses thrive in those types of soils. You just want to make sure that you avoid pushing your rotation of 1 in 3 if you do have those root rots. So again, next year, know what your functional herbicide groups are, right? Make sure you're soil testing after pulses and before. Look at our fertility recommendations, and again, have an idea of what you're going to do for a marketing plan, like all other crops. Well, they should hop on our website, www.pulse.ab.ca, and online we have, under our producer section of the website, varieties and management, but we also have an online Pulse Wiki, we call it, which is pulsepod.ca, and there we basically have online agronomy production manuals for all the pulses that are grown here in Alberta.
This video is brought to you by Farms.com.